Chapter 21. Now, I'm not sure why you have my client in here. It was the same old routine, no matter which solicitor sat in the chair. He was pleased that it wasn't Cal Green. His assertion that Green was sunning himself in the Canaries was correct, but it was as though every defense solicitor had been schooled in exactly the same way. They faked incredulity that the client they were representing could even be considered for questioning, no matter what the situation. "Well, we do," Augustine replied. He wasn't in the mood for small talk. Lazarus was there, was suspected, had been seen with Pierre White, had an access key to the hotel, and ran away when they knocked at the front door. Enough to at least have a chat, Augustine mused. "Ken Lazarus, where were you early this morning? Specifically, from around 1 o'clock this morning until around 1:30, Augustine asked, straight to the point. Get the details. "I was doing the same thing as most people in Washington. I was in my bed, asleep." "Why? What were you doing?" Lazarus spat back. His solicitor grasped Lazarus's wrists in an attempt to get him to calm down. He knew that a calm suspect was far more likely to hold their tongue. Lazarus pushed the solicitor away, almost knocking him off his chair. The solicitor gathered himself, edged his chair around a foot further away from Lazarus, and then looked at Augustine to continue. "And do you have anyone who can confirm this?" "No, I sleep alone, kind of like Christian Grey." Augustine recognized the name, but didn't know who this Christian Grey character was. Maybe another criminal that both he and Lazarus were aware of. No, that didn't sound right. It was something from literature. He resolved to ask Electra when he had finished with Lazarus. She read loads, and she would know immediately. "Shame. Are you sure nobody saw you late yesterday? What did you do before you went to bed? What time did you get into bed? Go to sleep?" Augustine fired the questions at Lazarus. "No. Ate a burger and watched the telly. 11, just after." Lazarus fired the answers right back. Augustine would have to find another tactic. That wasn't going to work. "What burger did you have?" "Huh? What burger? Homemade? McDonald's? Microwave?" "Whopper. Can't beat a Whopper," Lazarus replied. Augustine wondered how many Whoppers he was being told. At least the solicitor had piped down. "I'm a bacon double cheese man myself, but I can see the attraction in a Whopper. Just the burger, or anything else to go with it? Fries, Coke, the classic way to eat a Whopper. Can you think of any other way to do it?" "No, not really. You like the modern classics, then?" "Yes. The stuff from years ago doesn't quite cut it as far as I'm concerned. If a movie is in black and white, then it's automatically crap, if you ask me. Same with any TV made before the turn of the millennium. Modern classics are the future. Anyway, what's this got to do with me being in here?" "Nothing, Ken. Just wanted to chew the fat a little." "So, what's a guy like you watching TV last night?" That one with Keith Lemon in, I think. Most television looks pretty much the same nowadays, doesn't it?" "Not if it was made this millennium, no. What channel?" "Pardon me?" "What channel did you watch it on? I noticed that your satellite dish was hanging off the roof with the wires cut, so you had to watch it on terrestrial TV. What channel was it on?" Augustine pressed. It wasn't going to send the man to prison, but he felt it was starting to unravel some of the lies he was being told. "It's a Channel 4 thing, isn't it?" "Not sure. Who were the guests?" "I'm rubbish at this kind of thing. I only ever watched the first episode of I'm a Celebrity because I've never heard of any of them. There are as many celebrities in Washington as on that program, as far as I can tell. More people here that I know, at any rate. I think it was that Paddy guy who's on everything. Aside from that, there was a couple of women that Keith perved over. The rest mean nothing to me," Ken Lazarus explained, as best as he could. The solicitor had his head in his hands. He knew that the best alibis were vague, especially if they were spurious. His client was digging himself into a hole that he couldn't dig him out of. Augustine looked down, and he had made one note during the interview. "Electra, Who the hell is Christian Grey?